here is the reality. You might invest in your children, and you might protect them, and you might pour your life into them, and they might go out into the world, and they might become prodigals. Moses left after he was weaned from his mother, and Moses went and lived in the palace, and lived like an Egyptian, and lived in their culture until God called him. And then he had an encounter with the Lord, and he wanted to protect his Hebrew people, and so he murdered someone, and then he fled, and he went into the wilderness for another 40 years, totaling his life 40 years until he left and went into the wilderness, and 40 more years is 80 years. 80 years he lived. He wasn't walking with God. He was out there in the wilderness tending sheep, but God was doing something in his heart and in his life that nobody could see. Nobody could see what was happening until he gets to that burning bush. And when he comes to that burning bush and he has an encounter with God and he remembers who he was.
Amen.
And God says, go and redeem my people. Listen. I don't know how many years you're going to get in this life. I don't know how many years I'm going to get in this life. I don't know what's going to happen with my children when they leave my home. I don't know what's going to happen with the children that are in this church when they're no longer in this church. I don't know, but here's what I know. And here's what you can know too, is that if you have invested, if you have seen destiny in their lives, if you have protected them from the world that wants to kill them and release them knowing that salvation only comes through the Lord, and release them knowing that you have a purpose, you have a destiny, you were made for more, that your life matters. You may not live to see it. What I do know is there is hope that if you have done that which God would have you to do, to pour destiny into your children, destiny in God through Christ, in his saving work on the cross. It may not look perfect now.